there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Word to your mother.
Hey everybody, it is Joe Gatto here with another episode of Two Cool Moms. Steve, unfortunately, is on the road touring this weekend, and we haven't been able to get together. So I'm going back into the vault to some of our original conversations when we were trying to figure out what our podcast was going to be. We have a couple fun conversations that I want to share with the world, so that's what this episode will be. And I heard flack when we did this last time about how we didn't answer any questions, so at the end, I'll come back and answer a couple questions. You're going to hear a weird transition sound in between the conversations. I just put like a little soundbitey thing in there because it didn't make sense because we're jumping around conversations and it wasn't fluid. So at one part we're talking about, something when we were little, and then the next part we're talking about driving, and it just didn't sound right without some sort of thing to let you know that, hey, we've switched topics. So enjoy, have fun listening. Thanks so much for listening. And here is episode 35 of Two Cool Moms. I have a funny Mark Wahlberg story too, actually.
You do? Mine wasn't funny, so this will be funnier.
They were filming Daddy's, not that. What's the one he did with Will Ferrell?
Daddy's Home?
Daddy's Home.
Yep.
Daddy's Home 2, the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So they're filming it. Chris Henchy, who's the director of our movie.
Sure. He directed that?
Yeah, he was directing. No, he was on it. So he invites me to the set to come up, and he's producing it.
I wrote a film that's a little more depressed. It's called Daddy's Leaving. It never got picked up. It was very sad.
Is it a comedy?
No.
Should rewrite it.
I should just leave this podcast. Sorry.
So I'm at Daddy's Home 2, the sequel.
You're visiting.
I'm visiting Sir Day, and it's up in, I think it was like the Boston area or wherever. So I go, and on set there is, it's legends there, right? It's Will.
Yeah.
It's Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
Lithgow.
Oh, my God.
Yep. Because
Mel Gibson?
And Mel Gibson.
Wow. You came on a good day,
I'm just sitting there.
Holy shit.
It's the scene in the movie where, I don't know if you saw it, but the four of them are talking about getting the Airbnb.
Okay.
And they're all sitting around in the house. And so I sit down and I'm just watching, and they're coming by one, and I'm at Video Village. Mm-hmm. So they're all stopping by, and here they come one by one. Hello, hello. Will was amazing. Got to talk to him for a minute, and actually got to hang out with him on our movie. He made a cameo in that too.
That's right, yeah.
Which was fantastic. But Mel was there, and it was just to hear him talk and the way that he spoke and just the presence he has is unbelievable.
You always hear just nothing but the nicest things about that guy. I know that all that stuff happened or whatever. Yeah. I equate it to, look, who hasn't said some off-color things when you've been drinking? Yeah. I mean, I'm certainly guilty of that. But I've heard nothing but very sweet and kind things about that guy.
It was great. And then Lithgow came down, and he was great. And then
now he's an asshole.
Yeah, what a jerk. What a jerk. Yeah. Oh, Lithgow. So we're just there, and at the end, I'm leaving, and kids they take a big picture out front with like the whole cast and crew or whatever. And then I'm leaving, and some couple kids recognize me. They're like, "Oh, Joe, can I get a picture?" And I say, "Yeah." And I take a picture with like 3 or 4 kids. And the next day in the paper, Henchy sends me the paper, and they ran the picture of me with the kids, and it says, "Daddy's Home 2 filming in our area." It was like the local chronicle or whatever. And it says, and on the thing it says, "Star Joe Gatto visited the set." And I saw the picture be taken with like Will Ferrell, with like all of them, with like with the neighbor, because they bought somebody's house. They borrowed somebody's house.
Sure, yeah.
So I was like, I saw the picture it should have been, and then it's just me and like 3 kids like giving a thumbs up. It's so funny. Yeah.
Well, obviously a huge Jokers fan.
Yeah.
More so than the other 4. I'll tell you, Mel Gibson, when that whole debacle occurred, he had a film come out that I think is one of the greatest films I've ever seen in my life. And it got buried because it was coming out right around Apocalypto. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't seen it, no.
It is literally one of the greatest films I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
It's so good. The epic scope of it all, the relatability to it, and it's literally about a guy that gets separated from his wife and kid, and he's got to get back and rescue them.
Oh, wow.
And that's it. And he's going to be killed. He's literally going to be killed. The whole film takes place in one day, and every time I hear Daniel Powter's "I Had a Bad Day," I always wanted to cut a music video to that movie because it's absolutely mind-blowing how good that film is.
I want you, like when you watch movies, you put yourself in them.
Yeah.
I want you to be honest.
Yeah.
You have a family. You have a wife and children.
Yes.
Lovely group of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they are in a live or die situation and you have 24 hours to save them,
yeah,
what do you think their chances are?
slim to none. I mean, I'll get distracted.
Don't be a comic here. I want you to be
Yeah.
a father and a husband. And I
Okay.
want you to know, like, this, you got to start at least 50%, right? Because you love them. They're your life. They're your world.
Yeah.
So you got to
Yeah.
be at least give a 50% chance. You're going to fight your ass off, although it might be for naught. And those kids will have no future. We both know this, but let's pretend.
Right. Okay.
Right? It's starting at 50.
What are the circumstances?
Okay, I don't know off the top of my head. You didn't return a video in 1989 to Blockbuster.
And it was owned by the mob.
It was owned by the mafia. You owe late
Government
fees.
got involved.
The
Okay.
government, they owe late fees. They want their money. You can't afford to pay them. They're going to break your legs, and you say, you know what? I'm just going to go on the run. You and your family, you relocate to Nashville from Los Angeles. You're living in Nashville for a couple of years. Then you go to the local
Do you have a blowhole in the back?
you go to local
Where-
Walmart.
how are you breathing?
You go to local Walmart. You're
Yeah.
picking up a new board game for your daughter's birthday, and then you accidentally bump elbows with Jimmy Elbows. And it's like, oh, shit, it's Jimmy Elbows. We got to get out of here. You run. They follow you to your house. They kick in the door, steal your family. They say you have 24 hours to give them that $39.99. And they leave. So off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, I would say that if I had to chase him down and hunt him down, anything like do with money, I'm sure it would be a money like demand that I don't have even close to it.
Right.
So
let's say you owe them $2 million, and they need it by midnight. Okay.
Right. This is what I know exactly what would trip me up, and I'd show up 2 minutes too late. I'd be there 12:02, and I know why, because I'd be like, "Fuck, I am hungry. I mean, I gotta eat. I can't do this on an empty stomach." And I would go and sit down and have some sushi or like a deep dish. Then you get a little lethargic. You're like, let me just like shake this off. I gotta kind of like
gassy. Yeah.
we just lay down and pull the seat back for a minute and just kind of like nod off for a minute. And then I'd come back up. Oh shit! I gotta get my kids. I gotta get my wife. And that's what would bump me up.
Right.
I know a meal would be the distraction.
Yeah.
A meal would be the thing. How about you? What is yours?
No, I mean the movie Taken would be called Took. Like I would not like that Took. My daughter's gone. She's gone forever. Come see Joe Gatto in Took. Like my daughter's Took. She's gone. That girl. She's on the boat. She's on her way with the Prince of Saudi Arabia, wherever he was.
It's just you holding a picture, going, "I gotta miss her. I gotta miss her."
Through the years. I will say this. I probably would. I'm pretty good at escape rooms, so I would have good.
It's so good, dude. You're good at escape rooms?
I'm pretty good at escape rooms, so I think I would be able to deduce where they were, but then I would need help. Like if it came down to like having to take them down, I can't.
Right.
I can't do anything like that.
My wife always tell me what the speed limit is.
Ah,
That's what she does.
Speed limit.
You know, the speed limit's 55.
I gotcha.
I'm like, you could look up a divorce attorney right now.
Are you fast or are you furious?
I wouldn't say I'm like.
Are you an
I
angry
wouldn't say
driver
I'm-
or do you just drive too fast?
I'm impatient driver. I hate when people waste my time.
Did you like driving in the city in Manhattan?
I loved it.
So did you have a car when you lived here?
I had a Saturn. And
Ooh,
listen to
frugal.
this.
So, my God, I can't believe you had a Saturn.
I had
a
fucking
Saturn.
Did you really?
I did. I had a
Okay.
turquoise Saturn.
I had a red Saturn with the third door,
You had the 3-door Saturn.
and I had the fucking sunroof.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
you were fancy.
Not frugal.
Fancy frugal.
Fancy frugal. So listen to this.
Go ahead.
When I lived on 12th and 1st Street, I parked my car outside the apartment building, okay? And the snow, it snowed horribly. Plow came and took the whole front end off my Saturn. The plow just came.
It
and just
caught
went
the corner
kink
of it?
and just kept going. And I literally heard it crunch. I look outside. I'm like, motherfucker. And I saw it just sitting on the
Shit.
right in the front. Fucking bummer.
Yeah. So then you threw it out because you can't fix it.
I had to throw out the Saturn, yeah. My angel lost his swings that day.
Yeah. Shame. Red.
Goddamn shame.
You go with
So
a
you
red
had a
one.
turquoise?
I had a turquoise. So my dad had a guy, and my mom needed a car.
Okay.
And I had just got my thing, and my dad was like, my dad worked in insurance, and he had this guy that bought out leases from people that couldn't pay them, like kind of repoed a lease or whatever.
Right.
And my dad would go see him. His name was Frank, and he lived in Jersey. And so my dad was like, "Come with me. I got to
This
get
sounds legit.
It clearly wasn't. He goes, "I got to get your mom a car. Come with me." So we went, and she wanted a white Saturn. So we had the white Saturn there, and Frank goes, "What about your boy here?" And my father was like, "No, we don't need one right now. He's using my old one." He's like, "Come on, I got this turquoise one. I can't get rid of."
Oh, yay.
It was brand new. He threw it in.
Yeah.
So I got the turquoise Saturn, but here's the kicker.
Yeah.
I drove that beautiful beast
Right.
all the way right to the local Pep Boys. And I went to the magnetic decals section. And I picked myself up the Looney Tunes gift pack. And I had,
No.
an 18-inch
Wait,
Bugs
how old are
Bunny.
you?
I'm
How old
college.
are you? You were in college?
You're in college. Right,
Are you
you're in college.
serious?
I slap on a
I'm
magnetic.
going to Pet Boys and not getting laid.
I got bang right on the
What
side.
did you put on it?
A Bugs Bunny on one side, a Wile E. Coyote on the back, and it said beep beep. Like there was like a little thing, like the. So the two sides, one side had a Bugs Bunny, one had a Roadrunner, and it said Wile E. Coyote, my two favorite characters, and then it said beep beep.
That is fucking hilarious.
Isn't that crazy? I can't believe we both own Saturns.
We both had Saturns, yeah. Well, my first car was a Nissan Pulsar. Do you remember this car?
Yeah.
It was cool.
You put a nickel in the back, pulled it back, and it went.
You had to pull the cord. But I worked for a month, or no, a whole summer at the Hampton Inn, which was this Irish pub in Pittsburgh off of Route 8. And it was known because they had 108 sandwich combinations. So you would sit in the kitchen, and they had them all up on the thing, and you have to make these 108 sandwiches. So I worked there day and night and day for a whole summer, saved up all my money before I think it was my junior year of college, and bought this Pulsar. Dude, it had the T-tops. It had...
You're a lot on... You like things that happen above you.
I like
To be able
looking
to
at the
see.
heavens.
Yep, you like to see the heavens.
And saying, why? What have I done wrong to you? I tried my best. And I had a bra. I had a black bra that sat on the front of the Nissan Pulsar. Yeah. And when I was in college, for some reason, I bought a TV antenna and I glued it to in between the T-top things where they come off because I thought it would make my car look like the Millennium Falcon. It's like, what the fuck?
You're making fun of my Bugs Bunny and magnets.
I can't say anything, but that it looked.
How did you
shitty.
attach it?
It looked shitty. I got like this suction cup thing.
Got it.
And
Yep.
like glued it and
to it.
fastened
Yeah.
it to it, and it was like this little dish that and I was like, "This is the why? What I?" So stupid. But
I
yeah.
I
What was
always
so your first car was the turquoise Saturn?
No. My first car, I had a couple cars. My dad had an old Buick that he gave me and it died on the road. My mother was like, "It's not safe. Get your son a car," and that's why I ended up with turquoise Saturn.
Got it.
But I fell in a bunch of different like leases and whatnot. And I had a Pontiac Grand Am, and I moved when I moved to LA.
Yeah.
I got shipped over on the truck. It shows up, and my lease expired when I was out there. I was like, I need a new one. So I go to get a new lease for
Right.
my car, and I go to a Pontiac Cadillac dealer. And I pull in accidentally. The kid is with me. Justin's with me.
Yeah.
Our friend Justin Gerace. I pull into the wrong lot by accident. And I pulled into the used lot.
Right.
And I said, I'm returning his car. And he goes, "Oh, you getting a new one?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to lease a new car." And the guy didn't know leases. And he was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah, I could show you," because he wanted the sale. I was like, "Okay, sure."
Right.
So we're walking around, and I see a Cadillac CTS. And I go, "Oh, this is nice." And he goes, "Yeah." He said, "Okay." He goes, "Well, how much do you want to spend?" I said, "Well, my current, I don't want to go over my current $299 a month or whatever. Oh, no, it was $399. I said, I want to go over my $349. I want to go over $349 a month." I remember this specifically. I don't want to go over $349 a month. And he's like, "All right." He's like, "You know what? I could probably get you in this car for $349 a month," not knowing that he can't. And I was like,
no.
"Okay."
Yeah.
So he goes in and he goes back. He comes back. The manager's like, "What are you talking about? You can't get it. So you're not even supposed to be doing new cars, blah, blah, blah." And the guy's like, "Well, I can." And they got this huge fight back and forth about it. And the guy comes out and he goes, "Oh," he's like, "You know what? I can't get it less for than $429." He said, "No, that's not $349. It's all right. I'll go someplace else." He goes, "No, man. No. I told you I'm going to get you this car for $349. He went back, got in a huge blowout with the manager, and I got a brand new Cadillac CTS for $349 a month.
Shut the fuck up. Are you
Hysterical.
serious?
Yes.
Wow.
Because I pulled into the wrong lot.
Holy shit.
Isn't that crazy? And I got the brand new Cadillac. That I ended up taking that back to New York. I did my cross country drive in that.
And that's the first time you met Jeff Bezos.
Yes.
That is an amazing story. He just comes through at every step of the way.
All the time. Yeah.
So you got a brand
Brand new Cadillac CTS.
because you went into the wrong lot.
That's it. 'Cause
That's
I went to
fucking
so if I could give any advice to our listeners.
Yeah, that's right. Just drive onto the Porsche lot
Yeah.
with your Ford Fiesta, and miracles will happen.
That's it.
Yeah.
Make sure it's a used lot and you'll be
right.
fine. Yeah.
Wow, holy cow.
crazy?
And were you working retail in so Nordstrom's retail,
Yep.
but New York always retail.
No, New York was always corporate.
Corporate.
And
wow.
then when I left to LA, that's when I jumped into retail. And when I came back, I was out of the corporate game and I went into retail here in New York. And I turned that retail into corporate because I became a training program manager and I jumped to the corporate side. So my worlds collided.
I think it's got to be tougher for you to leave the corporate world to go into entertainment. Because, like, if you're waiting tables or if you're in retail, like folding khakis or whatever, it's so easy to just go, fuck this place. But to go into corporate, you're signing a contract, you have benefits.
Yeah.
I think
401k.
It's a lot harder.
I dumped
to leave,
my
right?
401k at, how old was I? I was 26 years old, I guess. I emptied it and I was like, I'm going to LA.
Holy shit, really?
Lived off the fat of the K. And I went
Fat of the K.
I was like, I'm going there. Yeah, I went there, and then I knew it was a gamble, and I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna try it, and I'm glad I did. But on paper, like, I failed and came home, which is so funny. Like, we talk about that all the time, and I'm like, I didn't have to do that. I could have stayed here and had my 401k.
But I'll tell you what I think is absolutely hilarious about Phoenix is any other city you go to, well, I'd say 80% of the cities you go to in the States, right? You go and there's like the club area where anybody under the age of 30 is going to drink, right? And then you have like a nice steakhouse and like a wine bar, and that's it. You go to Phoenix, the steakhouses out there are like nightclubs for 50, 60, and 75-year-olds. Everybody's trying to get laid, but they all look older. They don't look as cool. They're still trying to do this. It's like a sadder version of everything downtown. But uptown, it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, my mom used to go to this place called Bistro. It's not in Staten Island anymore, but there was a huge market for basically widow and widowers. That would they be like do like a nightclubby kind of weird thing where after the restaurant was over, because the girls would go out with their girlfriends, and the guys would go out with their guy, and everybody, and then after it would just get really weird. So I remember this one time I had gotten locked out of my house and I had to get my mom's keys, so I had to go meet her at Bistro. And I walked in.
She got the pearls on.
It was gross.
Yeah.
It was so weird to walk in there, and I was like, "Oh, this is basically my mom's like at a nightclub right now." She was talking to this half a gangster from Staten Island in the corner, and I walked over and I'm like, "Hi, mommy, I live in your." Meanwhile, I'm 30 years old at this point. I'm like, "Hey, mommy, can I have the keys to the house because I live in your basement, right?" And when I walked in, I couldn't find her right away. So then all these older women saw a younger guy come in.
Oh, shit.
So half of them thought like, "Oh, this guy," and then other ones are like the cougars, like,
"Hey, are you that guy that just drove up in the turquoise Saturn with the Looney Tunes on the side? You're fucking hot."
At this point, it was a Cadillac CTS that I got for $349 a month. Okay, I was making moves.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really weird to see that. But that became like a whole culture in Staten Island where like the older folk became into like the nightclub scene was restaurants post 11 p.m.
That's right.
They would bring a DJ in.
Right. Yeah.
They bring, and he would just hit like the old, like he play the Bee Gees like soundtrack, whatever. He just play anything.
Here goes some Wham for Linda.
Who's celebrating a birthday? Who knows how many I have left? Like, yeah, that was a really weird scene.
It's weird, but it's kind of cool to see that. You still got it.
Yeah.
You see some guys that still got it. I'm telling you, man, I went to the steakhouse with a friend of mine, and we were there, and we were having some drinks, and all of a sudden,
and you went home alone.
I went
Your
home
friend
alone, furiously masturbating. But there were a few like women you see, like, oh my god, like, I mean, I know she's older, but like looks stunning, and
yeah. And the men are like buttoned up, like the men, they got their suits on and stuff. It's crazy.
No, some of the guys,
right?
They're a little.
There's two types there, right?
There's two types.
There's a guy who got dressed up
and looks like a gentleman,
exactly.
And then you got the guy that looks like, did you just come from figure skating? Like, what the fuck ensemble is this? Collar up, it's pink, it's a blue shirt, there's studs on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, anytime I see like a 50-year-old in those fashionable jeans, I'm like, buddy,
tough. I'm almost there at that. I'm 45 and I still wear a low rise.
You wear a low rise?
No, skinny jean. I can't wear a low rise. Can't get a low rise around this.
Well, I'm 47. So I'm not.
Yeah, but you've got something way different than I do because you don't even look like you're anything near that.
What are you talking about? You look great.
I know, but I don't look young.
You don't look old. You don't look. We both. I'm sure we could all go online right now on our Facebook and find people we went to high school with. You're like, oh my, what happened to you? Like, have you been stressed for 40? Like, what happened? Stop smoking. Like. Yeah. What are you doing? I seen some people on Facebook. I'm like,
do you feel old?
Here's the thing.
Well, you still play ice hockey. We talked about this earlier, and I can't believe you still do that. You've been playing since you're 6. You played last night.
I played last night.
That's a hell of a run. 6 to 47. That's hold on a second. You're not good at math. That's 41 years.
41 years. Yeah, that's
So you've been
41
playing
years, yeah.
41 years of ice hockey.
I love it. It's a great release. It's so fun.
Right, but you just think about that. You're 47 years old. You lace up and
Yeah.
you move your body at full speed on the ice
Well,
for periods at a time.
full speed.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what kind of discipline and cardiovascular activity that requires? I get winded when I go to get like a snack from the fridge.
But don't you have like an outlet that, like, hockey for me is like the one place where I don't have to worry about, I got to write this, I got to take care of my daughter's thing, I got to make sure Jess is cool with it. You know, just like, it's like all of a sudden you're out. Do you have an outlet for you where you're just stress free and?
No. No. I'm always stressed. I'm always never free. I will say.
Can I tell you, when this comes, you got to rewind. You got to rewind that part and make it black and white, and just see you, like, process the question and then answer it. Because I watched you, and it
Trying to
literally,
find an answer.
it literally looked like something was welling up right here,
Yeah.
and you were so. That's the most honest I've ever seen.
No. I think when I'm with my with the canines,
Yeah.
when I'm with my dogs,
That you're unwinding.
yes, that and playing with my kids, I think does the same kind of thing. So
But dog's number one.
dogs are definitely number one. They outnumber the children. That's why they outnumber the children, and they're always in a good mood. You know, my kids are fighting about something, the dogs aren't.
Yeah.
But I think those kind of states where you're playing like carefree with the dogs, with the kids, or whatever, and just not even thinking about it,
Sure.
you can't help but be present. Like my daughter said to me, it was like a couple days ago. She was like, she asked me to play something, and I was like. She likes the game Guess Who. It's that, you know, you get a card, there's a bunch of little faces, and you have to ask each other yes or no questions. Does your guy have blonde hair? And they say yes, and that means everybody without blonde hair gets knocked down. And by process of elimination, you pick who has the card.
I play with my daughter all the time.
Okay, so then why didn't you give me any indication that you know what it was?
Well, because when we play, she goes, "No, seriously, who?" I go, I am your father. I just travel a lot, but I am. I swear to God. She's like, "No, who?"
Hi, Uncle Steve.
Yeah.
True story. My daughter told me that she loved when I come to visit.
What?
2 weeks before the pandemic, my daughter gave me a big hug when I came home. She's like, "Daddy, I love when you come to visit." I was like, "Wow, I'm doing something
my
wrong."
God.
Yeah, crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that was nuts. That was a real eye opener. So she wanted to play Guess Who, and I was doing something. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play Guess Who, and I stopped and I played Guess Who, and we had such a good time. And I was like, I need to do that more.
Yeah.
It's hard because when you work from home or like when you're home, you're always working. You're always thinking about stuff to do.
Sure,
and everything.
yeah.
And then next thing you know, like the little kid wants to play with you, and then you have to make a decision of like, am I going to be that dad that was unavailable to make a memory,
Right.
or am I going to be the guy that is like making a TikTok for the world?
Yeah, exactly. Best Christmas I ever had. I wanted Ram Man from He-Man so bad. Do you remember Ram Man?
I remember the day mine broke.
Oh, you do? Yeah, you had to squash him down,
And
and,
he had a
you
little
push the button in the
I
back,
remember
and
when
he
my
shot
button
up.
broke. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was the greatest thing, and I got that. And then the next year, I got the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier that was 6 feet long, and I played with that till I was fucking like 13.
That's so great.
Got made fun of for all the time, but I was like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, my mom and dad were, you know, we grew up a little bit broke, and my parents were big in the off-brand Kmart stuff. So you had the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. I know exactly what it was, and it was the gray one.
Fight
with the-
Force.
right? And
Yeah.
I got Fight Squads, and it was like it was like shit brown.
Yeah.
It was like brown, and like you had to put the stickers on yourself. Like it was one of those, and like all it did was the back hinge opened, and you could put stuff in it, but it didn't come with anything, and my parents didn't realize that. So I got an empty aircraft carrier that the hinge came down. No, they thought it came like it was on the box. You know, there's like all the guys like this and all that, and nothing. I got an empty shit brown
That's
aircraft
so goddamn
carrier.
funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what sucks about toys these days? Because I'm sure as a father you bought this. What's with the screw?
Yeah.
Can I just put the fucking batteries in the thing? Now I got to get the and
Whose
there-
kid is to unscrew? Who's eating batteries? That kid doesn't deserve to be around.
No.
It's
no.
Darwinism.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. He didn't fucking deserve it. It's one less person that's going to hold up the line.
Oh, I'm sorry. How'd your son go? D battery.
D. Yeah, he's a real dipshit. Those are the big ones. Also, when you get a toy now, it's these clear strings that
Hate 'em.
What the fuck? Let me open it.
It's always
And
around
just
Barbie's,
give
like
it.
around the neck, ankle.
Yeah.
Hair. It's like 47. I'm like, how bad is someone
not two.
trying to steal
It's
this
not three.
Barbie?
Yeah.
Who is someone trying to steal this thing? If they're gonna go through all that trouble, they could have it.
Exactly. Fuck it. I don't even want it anymore.
So annoying. Yeah, the unpackaging of everything is the worst.
Unpackaging of toys, and this is the thing too. For Christmas, anybody, this is gonna come out. My daughter's not gonna see this shit. Gotta get a hoverboard, right? So I get this goddamn hoverboard, and what I learn is that for you to use the hoverboard, you got to charge it 24 hours before you can use it. Now, what's gonna happen? She's gonna open the thing on Christmas. I want to use it, right? But so what I'm doing now is I'm gonna take it, open it, take it out, charge it, then put it back in the box,
Smart.
and now she's ready to fucking rock
You
and
have
roll.
to do that.
You have to
do that.
And these are things you wouldn't know. But why does something have to charge for 24 hours?
Yeah. I remember one year my big.
Why don't you fucking charge the battery, right? Charge the batteries and then put in the
even
fucking
give me
box.
half. Give me a half so they get to roll around a little.
Give me a taste.
I
Give me
know
a
that's
whiff.
it. I don't care. I don't even care if it's blinking. I know I only have 5 minutes left.
That's right. Yeah.
Stupid. But I will say this: one year, one of my big gifts was a bicycle.
Very nice.
You might know BMX. I got a KMX. I got a KMX bike, right?
Yeah.
And that year,
Yeah.
full blown blizzard. For like 5 days, you couldn't even go outside. So I just had this bike inside my house.
Oh, shit,
Inside my
really?
house for like taunting me for 5 days.
No.
My KMX, right? I take it outside to ride it the first time. Chain pops off, swear to God. Chain pops right off. I think, I didn't know how to fix it. I had to wait for my dad to get home from work.
Yeah.
He had to take out one of the link was too long. He had to do the whole thing. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, but those are the worst when you have like an outdoor toy for Christmas.
Yeah. You get a football or something.
Yeah.
It's like it's too fucking cold out. Yeah. Blizzard out. Well, are you looking forward to Christmas though?
Yeah, I like Christmas.
Of all the holidays, is it the best for your family, or
No.
is there something? What supersedes Christmas?
For a long time, it's been New Year's Eve.
Really?
Because we all just get together and do a big sleepover. I've always enjoyed that
that's
really
fun.
well, which is fun.
Do the
And
kids
it's-
like that more than Christmas though?
Well,
I assume.
my kids are young, so they're kind of getting in. They're 6 and 4, so they're getting into the whole getting gifts and whatnot. But they love playing with their cousins too, and they're young.
Right.
Their cousins are older, so they love playing with little kids and that. So it's like kind of fun that they're
Sure, all together.
Yeah, all together.
Yeah, you get them all together.
So that's kind of fun, and then it's just a time that personally for me, that you get to unplug and not have to deal with anything. So there you go. Now I'm going to get into the questions because I don't want to hear. We're supposed to answer questions, so I'm going to take some here. Hopefully, Steve will agree with my advice, and if not, I guess I'll hear it from him after. Chris says, "How do I get my question answered if you don't read it?" Well, that's a waste, Chris. I just read it. I guess ask your question in the same time that you submit. Will you read my question? Sorry, Chris. You had a moment of greatness there, and you squandered it. Much love to you, though, buddy. Thanks for listening. Hey, Mommies, when you have a new skill, this is from Travis. Hey, Mommies, when you have a new skill you want to learn without a deadline, what sort of things you do to motivate yourself? When it comes to your job duties, I go above and beyond, but struggle to find the motivation to learn a new skill, even though deep down I never stop thinking about accomplishing it. Love you both. Enjoyed seeing your taping in Franklin, Steve. Be well. Steve Byrne's comedy, The Last Late Night taping, which was great. Well, thank you, Travis, for being a fan. Appreciate you. Let's see. I'm not good at staying motivated with hobbies. Like, I want to learn, it took me a while to really dive in and learn photography, and I still haven't done as much as I want to with it, but it's always been like a fun hobby for me, and I just never really did it. I have like a lot of undone Lego like around my house. Like, I have boxes of Legos that I'm like, oh, I'll get that and I'll do it, and I just don't do it. So I don't know if I'm the best person to answer this for you. I will say one thing that does help with it is that, remember, if it's something that you do want to do and you want to learn, a lot of it that gets in your way is time, right? So you have to start the process. You should have to start spending time to do that. And I think that helps, because once, like, for instance, if I want to if I know I want to do something and I keep trying to do it, and the hardest part is to start. It's not to keep doing it, if that makes any sense. So don't start. I'm not good at this without Steve. this feels wrong. This feels like one cool mom. But I'm answering. I'm trying my best here. So what I would say, Travis, is just make an effort to start your hobby, making time to start doing it. And then hopefully the enjoyment of that will carry you through. Okay? I think that made sense. If not, Steve's going to be so mad at me. Okay, Ian asks, hey guys, love the show. My brother is getting married early next year and I am unable to go to the wedding. He has invited my biological father who we as a family haven't spoke to for 30 years, nor do we have any want to talk to him. How can I support my mom, brother, and stepdad when I can't be there? My mom is particularly unhappy about it, and it's her first son's wedding. Cheers. Okay, well, here's the thing, Ian. Hard pill to swallow for everybody. It's not your guy's wedding. It's not your guy's decision. It's your brother's. Okay? So what you're doing here is you're taking the importance of your relationship with your brother and putting it on the back burner at a person who you've decided you have no interest in putting them in your life. So what you're doing there is, I would just recommend a rethink. I would recommend rethinking. Don't make the day about your estranged biological father that you give no shits about. Make it about your brother who you're celebrating that has found love and wants somebody in his life. So I think, buddy, you maybe need to think about it a little bit more. I think you need to think about what's important here, and what's important here is the support for your brother. You're going to miss out on one of the biggest days of his life because you don't like a guest that will be there, that he's entitled to invite. It's his wedding. It's not your call. The only call you have is to not be there. And obviously that doesn't feel right to you. And so I would just rethink it. I'm not saying you should go, but I would just say this is going to be a decision that you're going to be living with, So think about it. And try to remember that you're there for your brother. You want to be there to hug your brother when he has his wife, and you want to be there for your mom to celebrate with your mom, and and watch your brother be happy. So I think you should probably don't give the importance to that stranger, that man. Give the importance to the person in your life who's your brother. Now, see, that was a good one. Steve's gonna be proud of me on that one. That was good advice. Ian, you got some good advice there. So I think I'm gonna stop there then. Yeah, that feels good. So much love to you guys. Of course, thank you so much for everybody who's been coming out on the road, seeing us. Me and Steve appreciate you guys. So make sure you check out our socials. Links are in the description on our YouTube page. Please subscribe, and much love to y'all. So thanks so much for watching me.
These two cool mommies love you, so show us some love.
Please rate us, review us, follow us on all social media, and subscribe to our YouTube.